Free Radio, San Francisco's alternative radio on 107.3 FM. And listen online at fccfreeradio.com.
You are tuned to FCC Free Radio, 107.3 FM, fccfreeradio.com. You're tuned to the Mr. Phil Unbound Sound Show. I'll be with you here until 10 o'clock this evening. A couple bands in the studio this evening. We're going to start off from now until 9 o'clock with a group called Third Date, and we're going to follow that up with a little bit later on this evening with Pinch Nerve, who'll be here from 9 until 10.
They're good too.
Exactly. You don't even know who they are. Don't lie.
As a musician, he's trying to say that.
Yeah, there you go. Well, at least it's good that you're cool with hyping other bands as opposed to trashing them like most musicians do.
Professional courtesy. It is.
So go ahead and introduce yourselves from my left to the right.
Hey, my name's Will. Play guitar with Third Date.
Tom, I guess front guy.
S-Rom on bass.
Steve on drums.
And the drum player is very subdued.
Steve.
Say I'm Steve on drums.
We call him the Word.
It's almost sexy.
I think he should almost do a station ID for us. Hi, this is Steve, and you're listening to FCC Free Radio.
That was Miles Davis.
Outstanding. So, common dating folklore, and I think somewhere in the bro code, suggests that the third date is secret code for sex. So, does that have anything to do with your name?
No comment.
Yes.
Okay. Way to follow up real quick there.
Well, I don't want there to be any misconceptions. It is about sex. And, third date because, well, obviously it takes three. Apparently not some of the people in this room. But
it takes more or less?
Always tough for me, it was tough to close the deal, man. 3, 4, 10, whatever it took.
Moving in with you. But seriously, how'd the name come about?
I think it was one of those regular band things.
Yeah.
We're all in a room together. We were thinking of names, and I think I threw a third date rule, and they went, "We hate rule. Take the rule out, and you get third date."
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So how'd you guys all hook up, and where'd y'all meet, and how long you been playing, all that kind of fun stuff?
Tom and Will, I'm Will, met at the Blue Bear School of Music way back when.
Oh, wow.
And we met these two jokers, Steve and Steve, on Craigslist, of all places.
You don't know what room we found them in.
Pets.
Pets.
Oh boy, it's not the room that they're trying to ban, is it?
I'm sorry, dude.
Seriously,
I'm
don't
sorry,
cry.
don't hit me.
You didn't find me on Craigslist. That's not true.
That's true. Tell the story, because he did lie, please.
I was playing in a band with another band member of this band, of Third Date, before they were Third Date. And she thought that since they didn't have a drummer, they should get me to come in and play drums. As simple as that.
She was a great keyboard player, Beverly Kynes.
Well, there you go.
We were told that we wouldn't like you, though, Steve. No, but that's the truth.
Really?
I'm not even making a joke. He can come over and play, but you're not going to like him. Really? We're not? No. We'll bring him in anyway. I got to tell you, dude, completely untrue. Likable dude.
I think so.
For gigs at a time, anyway.
But you didn't scare him off. See, Tom has this thing you need to know. Tom has this thing.
This is great. I'm not having to ask any questions. I'm just going to let you guys carry on a conversation. And I'll let you guys figure out what your history is, and I'll just sit and listen.
We have an hour, right?
Yeah, exactly.
See, different bands have different ways of getting up for a show. And Tom's energy rises before we go on stage. And he's often the guy that sets up the PA, and somewhere along the line it pisses him off. The PA itself, an inanimate PA, sends him freaking around the bend. Then he starts throwing stuff and yelling and screaming and makes a scene. And more than once, he's made another band cry.
Wow.
I do not exaggerate.
You know what? It was only once.
We could just not. We'll just go home. I'm sorry if we're bothering you. We'll go home and we'll just let you guys play. Don't hurt us, please. Don't hurt us.
Sounds fair.
Awesome. Well, that was an entertaining little 5-minute segment there. Awesome. I didn't have to say much, and
sorry, dude.
And we got some fun. We got some funny lines out of it. It's all good. So you guys have this little demo out that you were kind enough to send me. We're gonna play a couple songs off of that. The first one we're gonna play is "Path to Truth," and I'm gonna actually have you hold off on saying anything about that because I've got a question later about that song. So So we'll hold off on that. So we'll just take a listen to it instead. Why don't we? So you are tuned to Mr. Phil's Unbound Sound Show right here on FCC Free Radio. This is Third Date with Path to the Truth. You are tuned to FCC Free Radio, 107.3 FM, FCCFreeRadio.com. You're tuned to Mr. Phil and the Unbound Sound Show. Be with you until 10 o'clock this evening. In the studio with us tonight, we've got, as you just heard, great little pop outfit called Third Date in the studio with us, hanging out and drinking some nice Irish whiskey, which unfortunately I'm not partaking in, but... Oh, and he's got...
We did bring you a cup.
Well, you got to hold the cup to the mic so we can hear the glug, 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 glug.
How many fingers, Tom?
There we go. He just poured himself like a
Oh,
pint.
damn! Wait for it. Okay, good. Drummer? Word? Oh, you're good.
You sound like
Hey,
a
salute.
radio commercial here. Okay, so apparently,
Salute.
Will completely lied about how the band formed, so we got some corrections to make.
I do that sometimes.
I don't think Craigslist was involved, was it?
Apparently, they completely lied about the Craigslist thing. Maybe they're getting co-sponsored by Craigslist or something. They have to throw it in there to get their paycheck. But
My
okay,
memory
tell us
and reality only loosely linked.
tell us the real story.
Actually, I'll let Ezram do it.
Well, I was hanging out at a bar in Berkeley that they happened to be playing with their old bass player, and was pretty hammered and went up after their show and went to congratulate them on a good show like any musician would. And during the conversation that we had, I was bitching about not being able to find a bass player for my band, and they said, well, this is our bass player's last show with us, too. I was like, wow, totally. Well, I play bass as well, so if you get paid, I'll come into the band.
Well, there you go.
Actually, the original attraction was we've done some innovations in the way we structure our set lists. And
Yeah.
noticed that.
Our set list has chords on it.
And I have a very short memory, so having chords on a set list is beneficial for me.
So let's talk a little bit about influences. Obviously, there's definitely some pop influences in there and some rock influences, Dave Matthews and Nirvana and the Beatles and blah, blah, blah. I personally think you guys kind of sound a little bit like the Godfathers and the Smithereens. I think you're kind of in that vein, too, because you have a little bit of almost a southern alt-rock kind of sound. So
I don't even know who the Godfathers are.
Wow. Birth, school, work. Bird, school,
Falling on
work.
deaf ears, dude.
Yeah. How old are you?
27.
Oh, Jesus.
So am I.
Okay, Grandmaster Flash. So talk a little bit about some of your influences, because when we were discussing what to play during the influence portion of the show, it's kind of all over the place. So talk a bit about them. Okay, now everybody's pointing. You go.
they
No,
put
you
it-
go.
okay.
You go. First, I couldn't shut them up. Now all of a sudden they're like monks or something.
Well, I think what I was saying to you in the hallway is I had a really hard time deciding what to give you for influences, because for me personally, rock and roll didn't come to me until about 25 or 26. And so I was brought up on Grandmaster Flash, Houdini, Luther Vandross. I don't know where the hell this sound came from, to be honest with you. So I always draw on like a sort of a, although it might not sound like it, sort of a soul hip-hop kind of blend, like Cake. I love Cake.
Yeah.
And he's very syncopated the way he hits his, and I really like that stuff
Yeah.
too. So,
Cool.
see?
I pretty much only listen to 70s prog rock, like British bands like Genesis and King Crimson, and a lot of jazz fusion, Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters, Weather Report, that sort of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I grew up on.
Well, there you go. That was easy. How about you?
I just like music. Whatever's good, I'm into.
Cool.
Easy way out!
Now, which one's Steve 1 and which one's Steve 2? I guess you're Steve 1 because you were here
We have
first.
nicknames to deal with that.
Ezram
And
And
Word.
Word.
and Word. Okay, so Ezra mentioned that there were some cover songs that you guys do that he doesn't like.
Well, I love
I
the
don't
way that we play them, but yeah, we do a Stones tune every once in a while that it's one of my favorite songs to play, but I don't like the Stones.
Oh, really?
Not even a little bit.
All right, well then there you have it. All right, well let's take a listen to some of the influences here, and because it was kind of the standout track, we just decided we'll start with Grandmaster Flash just because. Okay, thanks for pegging the meters.
And I'm off the mic, my friend.
I know, not quite enough that time. All right, here we go. A little bit of Grandmaster Flash right here in FCC Free Radio, 107.3 FM. And unfortunately, Grandmaster Flash was not able to play. A slight miscommunication between Tom and myself about MP3s versus CDs, and that's why we had the...
I'm the moron. Thank you.
Yeah, and the IT guy burned the CD incorrectly.
Yeah, dude, you just cost me like $150,000 a year.
Because I'm sure your boss is listening to our little radio show right now.
I think she is. Carol, you listening? Yeah, I think she is.
And we, of course, have Third Date in the studio with us, hanging out, playing their own music and playing their influences, which we just heard. A couple quick questions for you guys. On your MySpace page, I had mentioned I was going to talk about The Path of Truth. The song that we heard at the very beginning of the interview is a song by Third Date called Path of Truth. And on the MySpace page, in the little player, it's a temple from Thailand. Mm-hmm. I mean, aside from the Buddhist influence, any particular reason for that temple?
It's a bit of a mock, actually. The song's about the New Age seekers that are, always talking about all the shit they're going to do, and they're going to try real hard, they're going to reach the truth. But at the end, they kind of don't.
They don't. And
the song's kind of about that.
Cool. I've actually been to that temple, so that's how I recognize it.
Is that deep?
I
read it in a book somewhere.
You read it in Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance or something.
Which is a freaking good book.
Which is a great book. How do you put up with these guys? Especially this one. This guy is like the wisecracker of the group, apparently. Cool. So what's on the horizon? You guys got a show tomorrow night?
We're playing tomorrow at Blondie's Bar.
Okay. Where's that at? In the Mission? Cool.
Yep. We go on at 9 and play till people aren't there anymore, which is usually last call.
All right.
Should be a good show.
Which one of these days maybe they'll actually figure it out and move last call to like 4 o'clock in the morning, like every other civilized city in the frickin' planet.
That ought to happen.
For that gig, a shout out to all our East Bay fans. Get on that bridge. Come on over.
And make sure to wear your hard hats and drive an armor-plated vehicle. So
Bears built to last on the Bray Bridge.
I was and I was actually up in Napa the weekend that they did all that work, and I'm so glad that my whole travel that weekend was completely destroyed by the fine work that they did on the Bay Bridge that almost killed like a couple hundred people yesterday.
We were actually practicing for the Blondies gig that night.
Oh, really?
And half the band made it to practice and half the band did not.
So half the band carried the stuff.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Any other stuff on the horizon then for you guys?
We got the Octopus Lounge sometime in November, although I forget the exact date. Sorry about that. Pacifica, that's right. That's right.
This is our new friend Chris who just walked in the door.
Chris is cool.
Hey, you never know. Maybe we'll play some gigs together. You never know. Cool. And then your MySpace page is www.myspace.com/third date.
That's
pretty
it.
Pretty
That's
easy
it.
peasy, mac and cheesy. Okay, cool.
Go there, be our friend.
All right, we're going to
lonely.
hear at least one more, if not two more tracks off of your guys' demo. We're going to start up with, actually appropriately following the Run DMC track, a song entitled Put Up or Shut Up. Anything you want to say about it?
But basically the song is about everybody knows somebody who thinks they know everything no matter what the subject is, and they coulda, shoulda, woulda you all day long, but they never put any money down, they never risk themselves in any way. They just say, I told you so.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, we're going to listen to that right now. Put Up or Shut Up. Thanks a lot, Third Date, for coming out and spending some time with me.
Thank you.
Yeah, had a great time.
And hopefully we'll see you around.
Love you, man.
Thanks,
We
Phil.
love you, man. You're tuned to FCCFreeRadio.com, 107.3 FM, FCC Free Radio.
Yeah.
FCC Free Radio, San Francisco's alternative radio on 107.3 FM. And listen online at FCCFreeRadio.com.